I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Thursday, December the 9th, brought to you in part by Norfenacol by Norbrook. Bovine respiratory disease is the most common and costly disease affecting beef cattle today. Norfenacol is approved for both treatment and control of BRD and is more cost effective than Pioneer products. For more information, go to norbrook.com. The futures corrected on Wednesday, but your cash has not yet, although we're not seeing any higher prices on fat cattle yet this week, even though we know that the packers absolutely need the cattle and would be willing to give it. But with your December contract on live cattle down 67 cents on Wednesday, that's just making that basis look a little bit too appetizing for a lot of your hedged feeders, and I'm not sure if we're going to be able to hold out and get higher prices. We'll sure get steady, which steady would be 140 to 142, and I thought then we're getting some of that already, although not in big volumes, but it's probably looking unlikely that we're going to gain much more ground this week. With your boards just not keeping up on your live cattle. Now your feeder cattle were down pretty hard on Wednesday, and they're just kind of getting lined up with what cash is. We saw new record prices on feeder cattle and calves again here in the middle of the week, and we'll talk about those at the end of the broadcast like normal. But coming to you from Las Vegas, just going to kind of give you the highlights of the markets here for this feeder flash and the one that we do on the next visit. But give you an update from Vegas. Those of you that didn't come because of the mask mandates that Nevada has, you should have came. Unless you want to sit down and gamble at a card table, nobody's wearing masks. You have to carry one in your pocket. Sometimes they ask you to show it to them, or maybe put it on just as you walk through the threshold of the door, and then everybody takes them right back off. Went to the rodeo on Tuesday night. I saw exactly one mask inside the Thomas and Mack Center. It was an elderly woman, and God bless her, she was coming out to enjoy the rodeo. So that's the report there, and nobody cares about the masks out here during this week because they know it's not going to do any good with the whole place full of cowboys. But look at your board for Wednesday, December live cattle futures. Like I said, we're down 67 cents at 137.55. Whenever we had 142 as a top market last week, that's just ridiculous. And I've told you the frustration that we have with it being so hard to demand delivery on that contract, but it's easy to deliver, which keeps the market just heavy on the shorts all the time. But February contracts down 55 cents at 138.67. Your back months of your live cattle down 17 to down 57 cents. Feeder cattle for January down 162. Ouch. Of course, if you're a trader, your technicals, your squiggly lines on your charts have been telling you that that both cattle contracts are overbought, even though your live cattle is running $5 back of what your market is, and but feeder cattle have been running at a pretty decent premium. Even though we don't have a December contract, we're looking at it January, it's still running quite a bit higher than what cash is, not just on one load, but on the average of all of them, which is what your index is. But January feeder cattle down 162 at 163.40. March down $1.60 at 165.87. Your back months were all down over $1 from 115 to 170. Fat cattle trade, we did have some confirmed sales and more than we've had on Monday and Tuesday, but Wednesday Iowa had confirmed sales of 2,700 head from 140 to 141 and 220, which I would still say is in your steady area right there. There was some 142 that we saw earlier in the week, and I bet we could sell some more cattle that way if guys wanted to do it, but they're priced at 143, 144, some people at 145 even. Nebraska 900 head confirmed on Wednesday at 140 and some 220 dress there. No confirmed sales in your Southern Plains on Wednesday. Box beef cutout values down hard again. And I tell you what, we were expecting them to kind of mellow out and just stay steady here as we get later in the year, although a lot of that holiday buying is already done by the time you get the shipments around and everything, they won't have a chance to get that product out on the shelves before Christmas. So that's a little bit tough. But man, we're seeing that drop hard. Choice cuts down $3.92 just on Wednesday at $264.11. Selects down $2.59 at $253.09. Your slaughter is running at a rampant pace, though. 367,000 through Wednesday. That's 2,000 more than the huge week that we had last week, and 13,000 more than the same week a year ago. Let's talk about your feeder cattle market. Your real-time index on DV auction late in the afternoon on Wednesday set at 161.35. That was up 51 cents. Look at some of your big sales on Wednesday. OKC West, El Reno, Oklahoma. They had 7,500 calves for the Tuesday calf sale. Your calves sold fully steady. Now your feeder sale, it was running late, but had another big run of feeder cattle, and mostly all true yearlings there on Wednesday. They were selling from steady to $5 higher, spots as much as $7 higher, especially on your 8-weight steers on Wednesday. But you look at this automated market report just for the Wednesday sale, and you see it was all big steers and heifers there. But 1,097 head of 7-weight steers averaged 754 at 162.42. Almost 1,350 head of your 8-weight steers, all of them in the barn, guys, averaged 851 pounds with a weighted average price of 161.69. Now that's your market right there. Now that's 50 pounds heavier than what your index quotes and higher than what that does. That was like over $7 higher than last week, same averages. On your heifers, 871 head of your 7-weight heifers averaged 756 at 154.78. That was over $6 higher. And your 8-weight heifers, there were 684 head of them, averaged 841 at 147.58. I'm going to give you some Tuesday quotes, because if you remember on our last visit, I did that earlier and didn't get some of your top quotes from around the circuit. But Winter Live in La Junta, Colorado on Tuesday, my friend John Campbell sent me some quotes out of there. The Stirrup Ranch there, really top quality and long time reputation. They sold 59 head of some steer calves weighed just over 600 pounds at $190. They also had a smaller jag of 445 pound steer calves, bring 227 on Tuesday in La Junta, Colorado. Some other Tuesday quotes. How about Unionville Livestock Market in Unionville, Missouri? Those Rockin' R backgrounded steers that I tell you about from Lucerne, Missouri there. They sold 4 loads of those steers. They weighed from 850 to 885 on the loads. That's how even they are. From 167.75 to 170.50. How about North Platte, Nebraska on Tuesday? Another good friend of mine there, Kyle Lehman, has got that sale up and going really well. He had a nice consignment of cattle from Monahans Cattle Company, Hyannis, Nebraska. They sold 123 head of 788 pound preg-checked open heifers. I had to take an age on them. I did just some gritty, good yearling heifers right there. And they were Herefords and Red Baldies, guys. They bring 171.75. But they had a big sale in Bassett, Nebraska. I say a big sale, not really a big sale for them, only 3,700, but still blew doors off everybody else, and that's just the way they do it up there in the Sand Hills in Nebraska. But Bassett had a sale on Wednesday, steady to $6 higher. Spots $10 higher, where they had a good comparison there. But on your automated market report, saw 695 head of 5-weight steer calves. That was all they had in the barn there. Average 553 pounds with a weighted average price of $200.06. That's the average in all your 5-weight steer calves at the sale barn, over $2 a pound, weighing over 5.5. That's something, guys. Had nearly 1,700 head of 6-weight steer calves, average 647 with a weighted average price on all of them of 185.65. Of course, your top quote come from Bassett. Your Zach Tran top quote for the day was 95 head, 614 pound steer calves in Bassett, Nebraska, bring 20535. And that's your feeder flash for Thursday.